Good morning, class. Today I will be role-playing the lesson for the ninth graders. Today, class, yes. Okay, today we'll be talking about how to plant some flowers and, the life of a plant, okay? We will start by watching a Brain Pop video, and then if we have any further questions, please raise your hand if you have a question, but we have to wait after the video. Every time we have a presentation, every time we watch a video, every time I have something on the board, I need you to wait for questions at the very end of the lesson, or at the very end of each one of those that I just mentioned. Okay, so right now we're going to watch the Brain Pop video, and stay silently, no talking, and never should you be talking or disrupting whenever there's a presentation going. Okay, so there's the presentation, and it's going to start. It should be like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. After the presentation, we will now I'm going to discuss to you a little bit more about what we learned on the video. And can someone tell me what we learned? Yes, today we learned about how the plant life cycle goes. As far as you need the seed, you need the soil to give it nutrients to grow, pretty much like if it was its food. We need the water, right? Everybody needs water. Plants are living things, they need water. You need what kind of light? Do you need solar light, or do you need the regular light, like our light bulb? Yes, we need solar light. It's fine, like if in a cloudy day there's, the light from the inside, that's fine. But when we see the better effects on a plant growth is through solar light. So that's our best deal there. So now we would start an experiment to see how the changes of the plant would go, and that's how it would be, right? The plant, you have to plant it, the seed, and then it would grow into a small plant with a stem, and then it would go to a bigger plant, and then it would finally be, the flower or the fruit or whatever you planted, right? So that's a good job. So now, when we do experiments, we can't just, toss everything around, run around the class. Our lab procedures are, we have to have one team captain per table, and that team captain will be chosen once a week. Okay, every once a week we'll have a team captain. That team captain is in charge of the books, it's in charge of the materials, and, whenever the teacher says, go ahead and get the materials, I will post it on the board, and you should be able to see what materials we will need for that lesson. We will get all the materials before class, before the bell rings, because I don't want any disruptions during class, okay? After that, we will start our experiment, and we would do it in a timely manner. We can't play around, goof around. We have to be serious about this, because people can get injured and people can get hurt, and we can avoid those things. Every time we use any chemicals, please use your safety goggles and your apron. Make sure that girls or guys that have long hair, you need to have ponytails. I should have a whole bunch at the end of the lab center, right by the water station where you wash your face in case an accident does happen. But we won't have that problem in this class, right? And then the consequences would be you will be excluded from fun activities, and you would do bookwork. And it's just plain and simple, okay? Those are my rules. It's you don't behave, you don't do the fun stuff, you do the book. Because this class is fun if you make it fun, okay? And even after you are on your notebook or on your bookwork and you're still, not paying attention, I will have to send you to the office, and those are the consequences that I have for my class. So go ahead and get started, and for today, go ahead and get your materials, and we should do what I had just asking. So good job, class. Okay, and for the first grade class, this is a different lesson. What I would do is we're going to have a book that will be read to the students. So I'm going to tell my students that every time I say, class, class, they should say back, yes, yes. And I'm going to clap once. And every time I clap once, every student should be on carpet. So I'm just going to be minding my business, doing my computer work, and then whatever my students are doing in class at that point, I'm just going to be random one day. Sometimes it may be in the morning, sometimes it may be in the afternoon, because I love carpet reading at random times. So that makes it fun to be in first grade, something that's spontaneous. So class, class. And they're going to answer yes, yes, and I'm going to clap. And they should be walking to their carpet. Okay, when we start the reading, since it's going to be a bilingual classroom, we're going to read El Juego de la Lotería. And this is about, I'm going to discuss in my class that this is about a traditional game, somewhat like bingo, but it's called Lotería. And it's a card game. And once it's kind of like Connect Four also. Once you get the four that match, that go on a diagonal, or left and right, or up and down, when you get four that connect, you lotería, you say buenas. Instead of saying bingo, you would say buenas, goods. And we would read it, but before we would read it, I would ask my students to inference the title page. So I would ask them, what do you think this book is going to be about? Then I would skim through some pages, maybe not all of them because it's a little long, but I would skim through some pages. And then the students are supposed to inference. I would ask like 3 to 4 students to inference so we can hear different opinions. And then I would read the story to them. And when we finish the story, I would ask, what was different from our inference to compare and contrast? What is our difference from the inference, and what is it different from our actual meaning of the book? And then the students I'm going to tell my students that is why you should never, 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 what is this saying? Judge its book by its cover. It may have the ugliest book cover, but what's inside, it could be very beautiful. It's kind of like a person, and kind of like how I want my students to think of themselves, and I want my students to say, wow, so-and-so is ugly or it's pretty, but either way, they have a good heart. So never, never judge. Always treat each other with respect, and that's where I would introduce the respect portion of my class and the student management behavior, that my students should never judge on each other or say bad things to each other. We should always, 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 no matter what the situation is, treat each other with respect. Then, that's just the life learning lesson, accompanied by my book and my lesson for the actual lesson that I would have. And we would talk about the main idea, the characters, the details, the settings, just regular questions that you would ask on a book. And after that, I would ask my students to create a story on the booklet and create their own story summarizing the story that we had read. So in their own words, in their own pictures, probably since it's first grade, I would ask them to write like 2 sentences or 3 sentences on each page of their booklet, and it should contain setting, it should contain main idea, it should contain characters, title page, author, illustrator. We will talk about those 2. conclusion, and that's what I would do with my first grade class.